you guys have went from, working at Dunkin' together all the way through 2 different apartments and everything like that. What would you guys say is like sort of like next, or what are you guys working on right now? What do you think is kind of in general the state of the union?
Well, I feel like whenever you move in, like Jen alluded to, it's a totally different experience, but it has its negatives too. Like, it's not always just bright and like sunny on the other side.
You definitely learn a lot about
yeah,
yourself.
about
That was
the
going to
other
be
person.
my next question.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
Yeah,
we're going to be real. I'm a slob.
You're a slob?
I am also suffering from depression, which is a very emotional topic.
Yeah.
But like I go through these bouts where I don't want to do anything.
At all?
At all.
Just want to sit down and do nothing?
Correct.
Okay.
And sleep.
Okay. Like how long do those last?
Forever.
Forever?
Like months.
You said bouts. Okay.
Like months.
Okay.
But so like that's a negative thing that happens to me, and I feel really bad because I feel like it rubs off on him. But at the same time, he tries his hardest to like motivate me, which is awesome to have, because when you're on your own, like who's gonna motivate you?
Right.
You have to try and motivate yourself.
Absolutely.
Which is very hard to do.
Yeah.
So has that been happening for a long time? Has that been happening just since you guys have been together, or what do you think? Because I think that, like you said, when you move in together, you effectively become one in a sense.
I mean,
right?
I think it started when I got kicked out. I think that's when it hit me like the hardest.
Yeah.
So like he would come over and I would just be like a mess on my grams, and he'd be like, "You need to clean your shit."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I'll get to it." And he's like, "You always say that," and then you just add more to it.
Right. That's interesting. I mean, obviously we've been friends for a while. I didn't really know that, and I'm sure we're gonna, talk about some more things that you guys have learned about yourselves and about being together. But I could draw some similarities to that from our relationship.
What?
I mean, a little bit here and there, no?
Like what?
Well, like, I mean, I think that you've gone through an evolution recently. I mean, just like, I don't know. Jen said she was a slob and whatever.
I mean, we're being honest. Just like leaving shit on my floor.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I always say this. Jen's room, like at her house, like at her grandma's house, like when she lived with her grandma, was like exactly like how my room was. Just clothes everywhere.
It's also
like
hard because we have so much clothes.
A giant mess, yeah. And I used to not put my clothes away at all. They would just like sit in a hamper, and then I would get it out when I needed them, and then I would just go put them all back in the hamper and wash them again. And it would be like this thing where I would just have a giant pile of clothes on my floor, and I would just dig through them and dig through them and dig through them to find stuff like to wear or like whatever. And it just kept happening.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, my room has only been clean since when did
I don't know, like a couple months ago.
start?
Yeah, beginning quarantine, something like that.
I think the clothes situation has only been since like March, and I cannot imagine living like that again. My mom comes into my room and she like puts stuff in my room, or she'll touch something and I'll be like, "Come back in here, put it back. Put it like how it was." And she yells at me. She's like, "Amanda, why do you not do this with my house? No, you're so stingy about your room." I'm like, I have spent my whole life being messy. I finally figured out how to like keep it clean. Like, I do not need you to come in here.
How did you do that?
Do what?
How'd you do that?
Yeah, please tell me.
Oh, okay, I know. Actually, I don't know if this is going to be helpful because so the whole reason I decided to start which I need to declutter again. I decided to start decluttering and to clean stuff out of my room is because for when we move out, like I don't want to have this much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark is like a crazy minimalist guy. And I think I have way too much stuff. Like way too much stuff. So, honestly, though, I don't have a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff I have are clothes. It's all clothes. Everything else is like, it's really not that much stuff. So, but that's the whole reason. I decided, and honestly, Mark helped me, and my mom was so mad at me because she's like, "I tried helping you so many times, and now when Mark helps you, it finally works."
I mean, it's also different when you have like your parents pushing you all the time. You're just like, leave. me
Well,
alone.
this is
Right.
another thing. Like, my mom, like, never had me do, like, any type of chores or anything ever. So I feel like when she would tell me to clean my room, I'd just be like, haha, like.
Yeah.
So I
100%.
definitely feel like I'm going to have my kids, like, do, like, stuff around the house because I feel like it probably is helpful, like, when you're having them do stuff and then they'll be more willing to, like, clean their room. Like, I never had to do anything besides empty the dishwasher. Still to this day, that's my only job at my house. Like.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think that got a little off topic, but
No,
yeah.
I feel,
Yes.
but like, I feel like that's an excellent point. Like, when
Mhm.
your parents don't make you like,
We always come
when you're-
back to this.
when you're
Yeah.
raised a certain way, that definitely influences how you are.
Mm-hmm.
Because my parents really never made me do any
Yeah.
chores. So then I'm on my own and I'm like not doing anything because
Yeah.
I don't have anyone to do it for me.
Mhm.
Which then again, it should like, you're the only person here. Why are you letting your shit pile up? But at the same time, it's
Right.
like,
Yeah, I never like had to do anything. And Mark's over here, he had to do all kinds of stuff. I feel like that's a big reason he's like so cleanly.
Yeah. I mean, I had always had lists and stuff that my parents gave me, and then I had to do them. I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting topic. You know, what do you do when you have kids, and how do you get people to that? How do you instill that sort of work ethic and just all those types of things in them? Because you want them. My parents always raised me to be better than they were. That's kind of like the way that they rolled. So, but yeah. I mean, I think it's a process. You got to try to do that, and then it's tough though. And the reason that I brought that up with Amanda is because like you said, Jen, if that's something that you're going through, I think that I don't know exactly what flipped the switch for Amanda. I don't want to say it was me because I just kind of brought it up to her, and then she did most of the work and kind of made it happen. But I mean, like, do you guys think that if I was gonna like, and if we were gonna try to like have an actual real conversation about this, like over these 5 years, what do you guys think has like kind of changed? What do you guys think has evolved to get you into this place now where there's either that or other things, positives, negatives? Like what are some of the other things and like, maybe the competing things of just living together and all this stuff like that makes it better or worse?
Well, so at the end of the day, everyone still needs their own space, and you have to realize like when your significant other is going through things and when you can actually help and when you leave them alone for a bit, because like I said, everyone wants their own personal space at some points, even in a relationship when you live together.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like everyone needs that personal time, whether it's to like think about something that they're going through. If they need help, you ask them every now and then, but it's critical for everyone to have that space. And like in the other apartment we lived in, we didn't really have that. Like you guys have both been there multiple times.
Yep.
Like she's in the living room and I'm in the living room. I had my game set up in a little corner, but it was still in the living room. And like I would be loud over there, she would have like the TV on, that would be loud. So we were just constantly clashing with each other about that. Like when she wanted her personal time, maybe just sit on the couch and watch TV, and I'm playing, and then I'm like, well, can you stop? Or then she tells me, can I stop? Like that's just an argument that kept on going on. Right. And on. And I didn't realize like, maybe I should just let her be, either go to the room, go on my phone or sit down with her, or like just try to help her in any way I can, because I just wanted to play and she just wanted like to do whatever she wanted to do.
Right.
And then I came to a realization like after a while, and then we would talk things through, and then she would like, it's easy when you open up to somebody and when you talk to them like, hey, I'm going through this, can you not do that? Or can you just sit? Like sometimes she literally just wanted me to sit down on the couch next to her, not say a word, just sit down next to her. And I mean, that's fine if that's what she wants me to do, but like it comes to a realization, like you have to be open with the person. Like you can't just, like, even with her depression, first of all, I feel like a lot of people are depressed nowadays. I think it's just the times we live in, everything that's been going around, the politics have a large play in that, just the state the world is in right now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of people have depression but deal with it differently. Like I've had depression. Like I said, I feel like a lot of people have, most people don't want to talk about it. I've had depression, but I don't deal with, like, everyone deals with it in their separate ways. She likes to close everyone out. Mm-hmm. And I try helping her with that, because it's hard to deal with it alone.
Right.
In depression, we've seen just how many people go through it and how many people don't make it through because they don't have anybody to talk to.
Yeah.
And that's how I've tried opening her up to it. And then she's showed me her side of depression. Like, well, I get, like, you want me to open up to you, but at some points I just want to be left alone. I want to have time where I can just think over whatever I'm going through. And then, you have to leave the other person alone for a certain amount of time until they come over, or until they get over that hump they're in. Yeah, you can help them, but at the same time, you want to make sure you're giving them the space that's adequate for them.
Yeah.
And I feel like that apartment was just so hard to do in that, because we were in each other's faces all the time.
Right.
Like, when she was going through something, like, it would just cause I mean, this isn't all relationships, like just small bickering and arguments that happen. I'm sure. I mean, maybe you guys are different. Maybe you guys never argue or bicker.
we
that's
do.
an interesting topic.
We do. Mark just doesn't call them arguments. We call them discussions.
But
I mean,
we do discuss.
We could talk about that one.
Yeah, I mean, they can. I mean, whatever you want to call it. If you guys have two separate
yeah,
sides,
we do a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So so that would be a big issue there. Like, I feel like when I wouldn't realize what she's going through, and I would just try stepping over her and, telling her to do this, telling her to do that, clean your room, clean the kitchen, do this, do that, while she's going through stuff. It was just a double negative, because it would just cause arguments, cause fights. Not like major fights or anything. Like, not like we're about to break up fights.
Yeah, no,
but
it's like, I just want to be left alone. Like, can you just get out of my face? And he's like, where am I supposed to go? I'm like, I don't know. Like, figure it out, because right now all I want to do is sleep for the next 24 hours. And he's like, but that's not healthy. Like, you can't just shut everything out in the world. Like, you have to keep moving. And I'm like, but right now I don't want to.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the way I cope is, like, I literally just shut everything off.
Feel that.
And I shut myself down.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get nasty.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry. Because, like, you're just trying to help.
Yeah.
But being in that tiny space was just, like, not good.
So would you say this is an upgrade in that regard? You think it's solved a couple problems?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you've seen my room. Like, it's totally separate. I have my own gaming place wherever I want to play.
Right.
And she can, like, she's had other friends over while I'm still playing.
Yeah.
Like, before, whenever she would have, like, friends over. Okay, Lexi, for example. Like, whenever, because, like, she was over the most. Like, we're really close friends with her. I would still, like, either be playing or wanting to play or wanting to do something other than just sitting down and, like, talking. Like, I can do that for a while, but, like, sometimes she would come over while I'm playing, and I would continue playing. She would have discussions with Lexi. I know I would be too loud for them, and vice versa. Like, they would get too loud for me. But, like, at that point, you don't really want to say anything because you have people over. You don't want to cause a scene in front of people.
Right.
And then this has solved that. Like, I have my own room. She has her own room. Then we have the living room where we can do stuff with friends.
Yeah.
Like, you've been over when we've had people? Have you been over when we've had, like...
Here?
Yeah. A bunch of people over? No.
No, only when you had Dave over.
Okay,
That's
okay.
it.
Okay, only Dave. Yeah, so we've had people over, and it's, like, a lot more room. You can see it. Like,
yeah. It's just broken up.
Yeah,
much
immediately
more.
when we moved in, Amanda, I remember her saying, wow, this is so much bigger than your old
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
Like, you can...
And I didn't even think you guys can sit here, too, and...
Yeah, it's just... Yeah, it's sectioned off pretty well.
Why didn't we play games on the table? Why were we on the floor?
I feel like when you're... That's a really good point. I don't even have an answer.
Why
know.
didn't we play a game here? Why were we on the floor? So
I don't
I
know.
feel like also sometimes when I
like the floor.
drink, I don't know, sometimes I just like laying on the floor. Is
Yeah,
that just me?
So last
It is
weekend we were
comfortable-
here
comfortable
and we
carpet.
were playing King's Cup and we were all like on the floor playing.
Well,
And
I also think that has something to do with like the old apartment. Like the only space that we
Yeah.
had was the floor.
and
Right.
honestly, I didn't pay much. I don't know why, but I like didn't even realize this table was like here, and I was like here. I think
we
you might
also
have-
had it the sides down.
Yeah,
and it
maybe-
was pushed up against
Oh,
the wall.
yeah. I probably just didn't notice that it was like this big.
Yeah, it gets a decent size when you, like...
Yeah, this
Open
is
it all up.
nice. Have like your meals here.
We actually
Yeah, we actually eat on...
on
that
no,
the
was-
I
table?
really
that was
want.
a big concern. Like,
yeah.
when I grew up, I, like... Sort of, I'm sure Mark can attest to this. Like, I grew up eating with my family the entire time.
Mhm.
Like, whenever I grew up, we would all eat at the dining table. And, whenever we're done, we didn't have to wait for everybody to finish, but we just wanted to have a meal together. And in our old apartment, we were just eating wherever the fuck, like, she would be in
Yeah,
the living
I'm
room.
excited
I'd
for
be in the
that.
kitchen eating.
Yeah.
And it was just,
I also,
like, that's sometime I feel like the couple should be eating together or at the same spot, you know, because when you eat, I don't know, you can talk about shit that you've been going through.
Yeah.
And now, like, this gives us a space where, like, we actually get food. Either I make it or we order out. We'll sit down on the table and actually eat instead of her sitting on the couch and me sitting here, me on my phone and her on her phone on the couch.
Which I do like that a lot.
Mhm.
Because, like, growing up, oh my God, my family is such a weird dynamic. We would not eat together. It would never be the same meal. My mom would cook whatever the family was in the mood for. And my dad would eat his food in the living room and watch TV, which is probably why I do that. Let me take my food and...
Well, my family, we eat in the living room. It's like me, my mom, and Mo, and we eat in the living room. And, like, we talk and stuff, but we're still looking at the TV. We're not looking at each other. And for whatever reason, the only time we ever eat at the table is when Mark eats with us.
I think
why can't we go to the table and have dinner? I mean, half the time it's just Mo and I, so it's like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But we never actually eat at the table, and I'm, like, excited for that. Even if it's just, like, you know, a table, like, we get an apartment where it's, like, a table in the kitchen where we have 2 little chairs. At least, like, we're eating, you know?
Blending that together is also something, like, you're bringing 2 worlds into one. You are bringing your 2 separate lives under one roof. Yeah. Which is, it's all about compromise.
Yeah,
which
compromise is big.
I do not do a lot.
Yeah, compromise is big. Like Mark said when he wanted to elaborate on the, like, moving in. Like when I was saying earlier, like, yeah, there's a lot of positives. And with all the positives, there's some negatives. Like, you're not, like, yeah, you're compatible with the other person. But there's, once you move in, there's, like, little things here and there that you tell the other person to do and they don't do, and that pisses you off. And then there's things that they tell you to do that you don't do, and then they get pissed off, and then you're both pissed off. Yeah. And then you just have to, like, talk through it, you know. Just communication is key, basically.